Systems are what we need to help the frail and weak human mind. Money is not the main product here. The main product is actually your trading and your skills and your mindset and your psychology. If that's fixed, money will come as a byproduct.
Cutting losses is actually a lot harder. Instead of letting it
Run.
go full run until the designated stop loss, because it's an acceptance of defeat.
That baseline that you build that you can continuously improve upon can only happen if you are disciplined.
Okay, let's say this trader is really attached to money. Constantly looking at the P&L, the dollars, is actually quite tough. So I think there is some trick that you can actually implement.
Hi guys, welcome to Trading Hot Takes, the show where we discuss prop trading and trading related topics to see whether we agree or disagree. Introducing Dixon and myself, One, and we are from TradeX Prop. Each episode will have a specific theme, and the theme for this week will be psychology. First statement: discipline is more important than intelligence in trading. Agreed.
Okay, I agree as well. Oh, you strongly agree?
I strongly agree.
Okay, so I think I'll just start first, right?
Sure.
I think discipline is definitely important because I think in trading, it's not about how smart you are. Of course, there's definitely some basics mechanism of the market that you need to understand, right? But if you have the discipline to actually learn it and to actually execute the strategy, execute your risk management, if you have that discipline, it's a lot easier for this disciplined trader to find success in trading. So if we're saying like it's more important, yes, definitely it's going to be more important than intelligence, because I do think a lot of traders tend to overthink, like trying to find an ultimate solution in trading, right? Because I think maybe sometimes if you feel like you're too smart and you're trying to outsmart the market, generally the market will spank you right in your buttocks.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, just to add to that, right? If you try to think back about your experience, your journey as a trader, I'm sure that most of the times that you were really burnt really bad, you actually know exactly what happened.
Exactly.
It's because a lack of discipline, right?
Yeah.
You do stupid stuff. You move your stop losses. Your stop loss is supposed to be there. Keep moving it, right? You increase the stop loss. Why? That's not part of your system. What does that indicate? That's a lack of discipline. You're not following your system. So what's your system for, right? So however intelligent you are, if you do not have discipline, you're just gonna be continually burning yourself over and over again until you actually learn and start sticking to the system. At least with discipline, if you have just a basic level of intelligence, I mean, you can just understand instructions, you can execute, and you don't overthink, that's great. Because all you actually need to do is you follow a system, you have a mentor, you create something, you try it, and then you test it, you make notes, you adjust your system, and then you continuously refine over time. Baseline is very important, right? That baseline that you build that you can continuously improve upon. And this can only happen if you are disciplined.
Yeah.
That progression only comes from discipline. So
Let's say if you're really like forcing us, because I think the team is like forcing us to choose like whether it's a discipline or it's like intelligence. But if it's that case, discipline is definitely more important.
Definitely
You
key.
can learn the strategies.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Let's move on to the next one.
Right.
Overconfidence is more dangerous than fear in trading.
Well, this week's topic is a bit tougher.
This is a bit tough. I agree. I somewhat agree.
Okay, I think I'll go first. Overconfidence meaning to say this trader does not really understand how competent they are, and they might take excessive risk towards the market.
Yes.
So when he is overconfident, meaning to say he's going to take bigger risks, larger risk.
I would think that in this case, fear is you scared, you hesitate probably. So I think it's that context. Like
So if you hesitate, that means you say you're not going to take a trade. Is it?
you won't take a trade.
Okay.
So I think if you look at it that way, definitely overconfidence is more dangerous, because it's another analogy. Let's say you drive a car, you think you're a really good driver, but you're not. A very high chance of you crashing, right? But if you're fearful, you'll probably drive really slow. You will reach there late, but surely you'll be reaching there.
I think it should be at a right balance. But of course, like being overconfident may lead to like riskier trades, right? May lead to like blown accounts.
It will.
It will lead to that. But if that trader takes the time to actually analyze it and take it as a lesson, then it might be different. That's what I think.
But I guess you can say that about fear as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's keep it simple, alright? Okay. Overconfident and a fearful trader. A fearful trader, scared to take trades,
Okay.
he probably stays out of the market and he does not risk anything. He will not get anywhere, but he's not getting burned either. But he's not gonna improve. Overconfident one,
He might get a very good trade sometimes,
he might,
but then when he get really like overconfidence, he might blow that.
high chance
whole
of
portfolio.
burning. High chance of burning. But this guy probably will learn more.
Yes.
Right? He
That's
will
right.
learn more because he executes. This one does not. So it's, I guess that's where the
Yeah. The dilemma that I have. Yeah.
Okay. But we're still on the same page.
Yeah, but I think having a right balance, right?
Yeah.
You need to be confident and as well being caution at the same time. Meaning to say you need to have a system that actually assists you and guide you through, right? Imagine like the market is like a wild jungle and there's
Okay.
a lot of animals there waiting to buy you off. So having like good systems to go around,
Yep.
it can help. So yeah, I
Okay.
mean this is a bit tough statement.
Okay. So let's say if I add a word to this statement, constant overconfidence is more dangerous than constant fear in trading. Yes.
Okay.
Constant burning, constant dying. Right? Okay, that puts it to rest. Okay, let's
Okay.
move on to the next one. You can't trade well if you are emotionally attached
Okay.
to money. Emotionally attached. Yes?
Yes,
Yes,
definitely.
definitely.
Being a trader, right? It's important to be detached,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think it's important to be detached to money. So being emotionally attached to money means to say you are constantly looking at your P&L every time you put in a trade. So if you are constantly looking at the P&L and are caring about how it does to your portfolio, then it might bring up a lot of unnecessary emotion.
Yep.
So
Yep.
in order for a trader to be a really good trader, they must be emotionally detached
Yep.
to the money.
Definitely, you're always checking out your P&L.
It's
Your
gonna
focus
be-
is on the wrong thing.
Yes. So, but then of course, I think the attachment is definitely, you need a good system, right? So let's say this trader is really attached to the money, on the money aspect. If he's looking at let's say we're looking at like MetaQuotes, for example. Okay, MP4, MP5. If you're constantly looking at the P&L, the dollars, it's actually quite tough. So I think there is some trick that you can actually implement, right? So let's say you can change the dollars P&L to actually pips. Maybe you're looking at pips
Instead of dollars.
instead of dollars.
That's a way to overcome.
Yeah, coming back to the previous answer, I think having good systems around it is helpful.
Okay, so I also agree with that. And you can't be focusing too much on the money aspect because that leads to a lot of stupid decisions and emotions. Fear of missing out, you're in the red, and it makes you forget about the system that you've built. Systems are what we need to help the frail and weak human mind. Money is not the main product here. The main product is actually your trading and your skills and your mindset and your psychology. That's what you should be working on. If that's fixed, money will come as a byproduct of this. So you do this, this will come. It will come. But if you just look at this, does not mean that this will come. Or if you don't look, you just keep looking at this, it will just lead you to do stupid stuff.
I think also a lot of traders that are very attached to the money aspect,
Yep.
to the monetary aspect, is oftentimes they are tying the money to some specific materials, something. I think, right?
Possibly.
So let's say, okay, this is $1,000. Oh, I can get I don't know.
I could buy something.
I could buy something. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm getting that phone,
So-
so my equity is floating.
Yeah, so there's a point in time, maybe this trader, when they see that, oh, right now I have this P&L,
Yep.
it's like $2,000. Oh, maybe they are already calculating what can I get
Like, what can I
with
buy?
this. But then let's say if your system is not up to your take profit level yet,
Yep.
and then you're already thinking of what you're gonna get with that money,
Yep.
then you're gonna get yourself into a very deep hole.
You're gonna do stupid stuff.
You're gonna do stupid stuff. So if the trade goes back to the break even,
Yep. What are you gonna do?
what you're gonna do? Right? Okay, you just lost that.
Yeah,
You just
or,
lost
or
that.
SL.
Yeah.
Are you gonna double your position? I think that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah.
right? So emotions, don't be attached to money.
Of course, it's easier said than done.
Of course.
This is easier said than done. But I mean, this is the only way, for a trader to really advance.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's what you need to work yourself towards, right?
Yeah.
Alright, okay, let's move
Alright.
on. Taking profits is harder than cutting losses.
Okay, this one I may need to think for a little bit.
I disagree. Hold on, let me find my thumbs down emoji. Oh, I don't have a thumbs down. I'm a very positive person. Alright, cutting losses, I believe, is the most difficult thing in the world for most traders. Most just don't want to admit that they are wrong. That's why you have SLs that used to be here, they're now somewhere else. Why does that happen? SL should be stuck where it is and follow the plan, but you move it because it's hard to accept the pain that you are wrong. And the deeper you get, the harder it is to pull yourself out. It's a huge loss. The loss is getting bigger and bigger, and you just don't want to admit it that you have been wrong. I think cutting loss is definitely harder. Okay, unless you're saying taking profit at your original point, then it's different. But if taking profit in general, I don't think that is a problem. I think most people actually cut their winners short.
Yeah.
So-
I think this week's topic is a bit tough because it's on psychology. It's a very deep topic.
Yeah, and of course the context. The context. There's a lot of context here. Taking profits can be at your set level or taking profits at any level. If at any level, I think most people cut their winners short. Correct or not? I mean, yeah. Whether you take the full TP, that is difficult. Whether you can wait till you hit your TP. Most of you are scared to leave it and follow the system because you're scared the money disappears. Okay.
Yeah, I strongly disagree. I think
With
taking
me or
with the statement.
Okay.
With the statement. So I think taking profits is not harder than cutting losses because like what you said, cutting losses is actually a lot harder. So I do have a couple trader friends. They are very good at cutting losses. It ends up they are quite profitable. You know what? Okay, let's say when they have a system, correct? Whenever it's not going in their direction, they can cut the losers fast and cut the losers short instead of letting it go full run until the designated stop loss. I think it's a very tough thing to do. In my case, it's always very hard to cut my losses. I feel like I'm attached to the trade until the market really slaps. Then I can, okay, I lost this trade. So I think it's the acceptance of defeat
Yep. The pain is hard to take.
instead of letting it full run to their SL. Whenever they see it's not good, they just cut it and they'll wait for a better opportunity. So
Okay, let's maybe look at it this way. The main problem when you fail as a trader, okay, how many percent traders fail? 95 to 99% traders fail. Failure means what? You burn yourself, right?
Yeah.
You burn your account. You lose money. So lose money naturally comes from not cutting your losses.
yeah, exactly.
So I think if we look at it just like that,
Yeah.
okay, I think cutting losses is the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah, because it's the acceptance of defeat.
Yeah. So most people can't do that. I don't think you've heard of people say, I failed as a trader. Why? I didn't take profit.
Yeah,
I think most people it's because they let the losers run.
yeah,
Okay, so
exactly.
done. Let's move on. A profitable strategy is useless without the right mindset.
Is this the last statement?
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
this is a lot easier.
Profitable strategy is useless without the right mindset. Of course, lah.
Of course. Discipline, it falls back to the first statement, right? Discipline, right? So you can have the best strategy in the world, and if you cannot execute it, you will not get the result. Plain simple. Right? Like, okay, I can teach you the best strategy. You're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, you're gonna do this with like proven track records. But if you do not follow it, then yeah, it turns to shite.
You're just looking at the strategy, and the strategy is also just looking at you, looking at each other, not doing anything. Nothing's gonna happen. Profitable strategy has to be with the correct mindset to execute, to improve, to refine, and to reach a goal. Otherwise, a strategy is just a strategy, and it's passively sitting there doing nothing, or possibly burning you instead.
Yeah. They can have a very simple strategy, I think, but with the right mindset, they can actually make money. Just a simple high and low strategy, I can tell you that. If they have the right mindset,
Yeah, support and resistance,
Yeah.
breakouts, backtest over and over.
Understand how to cut your losses.
Definitely.
Falling back. Yeah.
That's also the right mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understand that you need to train and discipline yourself. So I think it's all falling back to the whole thing, the whole psychology.
Definitely, but
Yeah.
the first few statements were really difficult, so we expected the last one to like be more difficult, but turns out it's kind of disappointed, but it's okay. Okay, that's it. We've come to the end of this episode. Thank you for watching. If you know of any unpopular trading opinions or popular trading opinions, please drop it in the comments. Right? We might feature your take in the next episode. All right.
Okay. All right. All good.
Bye bye.